Endless Frontier. How you guys doing? I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. So listen, uh, it's been a minute since I've posted this stream, right? It took me a couple of weeks to kind of get back to it. There's been a lot going on. Obviously, there's a lot of like shenanigans with uh, shutdowns of different things, and also my work's been kind of crazy. But hey, we're here again together tonight. Let's see what we can do here to enjoy this time in the world of Minecraft together. So, one thing for sure that I probably need to mention almost immediately is that I have been doing work in the world, right? It hasn't just been me not playing at all. Just been stuff that I don't know. It was just me kind of experimenting around and trying to figure out like how things are gonna play out. So since that's like a lot of just like freeform thought process type stuff, I thought that putting that on on the camera wouldn't be very good. So I didn't. And so the first thing that we're gonna do here is try to get finished for the plan today, because there is one thing that I need for today's plan that I currently do not have, and that is, of course, an ender pearl. So I'm actually going to be going out like first thing. I think I'm already out actually, on a boat on a river at night, trying to see if I can catch myself an ender pearl. I've also got my tasty coffee here. Hey, Minecraft just crashed. That's cool. That's cool. So let me get that restarted. I'm not sure why it crashed, because I was literally just playing it, less than an hour ago, trying to prep for this. Let's get this back loaded. I think it might throw up all of the loading stuff for you too, depending on how much of that is connected to the Java client that my OBS would be reading. So let's see. What have I been doing? So I have been doing some stuff with some other people. I've been kind of running through Stardew Valley again, which is very fun. We actually just made it past. We made it into the first year of winter, or the first winter on the first year. However, I need to say that. Which is actually kind of just where we left off the last time that we were streaming. But I'm not sure if I really want to throw that one out there. I've also been trying out a couple of other games. I've been doing some 7 Days to Die, because that's just something that I keep cycling back around to. It's very popular in my group of friends. There's several of us that like to play it, back and forth with each other, and we don't have any problems like starting over a brand new world and just kind of running from the beginning to try it out again. So it's very easy for us to play together with like little to no prep. And I just got installed Kingdom Come Deliverance, which a lot of people have said good things about, now that it's had some updates and some time to mature as a program. So I'm wanting to give that a shot. I might stream it, might not, who knows? Who knows? Then other than that, it's mostly just been like, going to work, doing the normal stuff. Because my job is considered essential, so I do have to go to work. And that is unlikely to change. But that's not what I'm in for tonight. What I'm in for tonight is some Minecraft. I can't wait to show you guys the stuff that I've been working on. Because some of it's like, just kind of lining out some of the basics of Minecraft that I typically leave for a while, you know, just like I got an animal farm set up for chickens and cows and that sort of thing. And I also got myself like an enchanting table. I found a few more diamonds, so that helped because I was very, very poor on the diamond front before. I don't even know if I still don't think I have enough to actually make like a full set of armor. Um, and definitely not if I also want like 2 pickaxes and a sword and a shovel and everything else, but there's lots of good stuff to be had out there. I mined a lot of the silent gems, crystal things. Um, Apparently that's really prolific in the loot table for this mod pack. I don't know if that's as intended, but and I don't know hardly anything about the mod, honestly, so I don't know if like what I'm getting is really good stuff or if I'm getting like kind of the average stuff. But I've been finding all of it like around, you know, Y level 10. That's where I usually do my digging. So it should be the good stuff. Alright, here we go. Loading it up once again. Come on now, come on now. $0. It is kind of weird how it jumps from like 0 to 100, like, immediately. First time you load it up, it's really slow. It spins around. But every time after that, it's like 0 to 100. Here we go. Come on now. Come on now. Any day. Any day. Here we go. Joining world. This is why I normally just have all this lined out before I even start streaming. And it like crashed as I was coming back to it. There we go. Alright, where's my boat? Okay, so like I said, we're on the hunt for an ender pearl. So I really just need like one enderman that'll actually yield a pearl to spawn, and then we will be good to go. There's one. Let's see if he will give up the good. Nobody likes you. Dishonor on your family. Talking to the skeleton, of course. Do Endermen have families? Do they have a concept of honor? Who knows? Skeletons, though. At some point they were human. Right? That's the thought line. At some point they were human. Oh. I see another one on my mini-map. But I don't see another one. Oh, is it going to be in some kind of a weird cave that's underground? Yeah, it's going to be under some kind of a weird cave that's underground. Well, I don't fancy sorting through all that to try to figure out which area of what cave he's in. And it's rapidly becoming daytime, which is going to severely inhibit the amount of Enderman spawning that I can expect to see. Oh, for the briefest of moments, I did see another one over here, it looked like, on the mini-map, but now I do not. Tragedy! Well, in this mountain over here, there is some kind of a cave. I haven't, like, actually, I don't know exactly where it's at, but when I was up against this mountain, like, it did show me an Enderman that was, like, inside of it, and I was like, man, I just don't really want to dig into this cave. Kind of like I just did with that other one over there, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can figure out where this cave is. Get rid of all of that gravel in one fell swoop. So immediate things that you're going to notice pretty quickly about my UI and stuff that's different from how it was last time is that, number one, I am not a vampire anymore. It turns out that the thing that I did that seemed like the totally natural thing that you were supposed to do, like right-clicking, shift right-clicking with the bottles of blood on that thing, that's what you were supposed to do. In order to fill it up to be able to do whatever the ritual is that gets you like higher level vampire powers. So since that didn't work, I was like, alright, well, I guess I'm not a vampire anymore. So in order to do that, I had to use that altar that we found, and that killed me. But it also cured my vampirism. And so then immediately I was like, well, you know, if I can't be a vampire, I guess I'm going to become a hunter, so that way I can't be a vampire again. Because that's another thing. Like, you can just become a vampire again. But I didn't want to deal with it. It wasn't going to work. So I just went the other route. And I made myself a hunter. And so now, I killed the vampires. Waha. Ha ha. Do I not have any blocks on my bar? Oh, no, I do. Okay. Well, not on my bar, but in my inventory. That's what I actually meant. So I hope I can figure out... It looks like if I was to go sideways, I would find the cave entrance. I've done like a fair amount of mining, actually. And I also, I made myself a dank storage. This thing right here. It lets you store blocks. That's what this stuff is. So, I think the stack limit's like pretty high on the one that I have because mine's tier 6. Stack limit 262,144 of any individual block, and then it has like, what is that? 6 times 9, so 60, 54 different types of blocks that it can store. Don't ever try to do quick maths on camera. Yeah, so that's another thing that I did. I also got myself this nifty little lighting wand. It's basically like a thing that you can place light sources like on the go, and it recharges, like you can repair it with glowstone. And then the other cool thing about it is that the light sources it produces, they're not visible unless you're holding the wand. So you can see the little particle effects disappeared. So that, of course, is real nice. So is this down more or is this up more? See, this is the like super difficult thing about doing this stuff, is that I'm never quite 100% sure like which way I'm supposed to go to get to any individual part of it. But I mean, like, according to my mini-map, it looks like I'm supposed to be like in a cave right now, and so that makes me think that, yeah. Okay. There we go. So we'll just go cave cruising and hope that we can find an Enderman. We'll grab a few resources while we're out. I have a really... I don't know. There's stuff that I really want to start playing with, and I wanted y'all to be involved in it, basically. And so I've held off on doing some of the things that I wanted to do until I could get my stream stuff set together with my new computer, which I was able to do. So now I'm good on that, you know? So that's why I'm trying to get this stuff together. But first plan for tonight involved, unexpectedly, involved an ender pearl. Because I didn't, there was like a crafting ingredient on one of the items that I just didn't quite catch. Or rather, I thought I knew exactly what I was crafting, and as it turns out, I was slightly wrong. Look, it happens to the best of us. Even people that have played a lot of Minecraft make lots of mistakes. And you can believe that I have played a lot of Minecraft. Oh. Man, where is this guy? See, now that I'm down here at the bottom of this, like, shaft, does not look like he is. Looks like he's actually, like, up there somewhere. Let's knock out all this gravel. Cause a massive update, and then lag everything out. Haha. So he's, like, this way? I can hear him, so he can't be very far away. Let me see if I can just knock out a lot of this granite here. And if that'll give us a good path forward. So I don't know if the mod pack comes installed this way normally, but I change it every time. If I have ore excavator or any other mod like that, vein mine or any of that stuff, I make it to where I can do it with an open hand and I don't have to have a tool. So that way I can do exactly what you just saw there, where like I, you know, can just eliminate blocks by clicking with my hand. Get out of here. Okay, so up there. What it sounds like. There he is. Alright, now. No, don't need any of that. Yes! There we go. Alright. So as much as I don't care about this cave, because I don't, let's just go back to the base. I mean, like, this is a lot of iron. I would feel sort of remiss if I didn't go ahead and grab it, so I'm going to. Hope you guys don't mind. Also, Vein Miner does not catch all of those, but if you start with those, Vein Miner will catch all of the individual ore. Or Ore Excavator. This is Ore Excavator. This isn't Vein Miner. Bam! Oh, and Inferium. Always need Inferium. Although, actually, I'm not sure if I need Inferium. It's just, it's a handy thing to have. And if you want to get into mystical crops, then, I mean, you need a lot of this stuff. So, you might as well, given the opportunity, go ahead and grab as much of it as you can. Like so. Okay. And then now I'll turn off the overlay so I don't see the light source placement anymore. Because in the overworld, that's actually kind of annoying. So where is my boat? It's like, gotta be right around here. It is. I didn't stray too far from my base when I came out here. Although you guys are going to be astonished, because that's one of the things that I did in between episodes, is I moved into a new biome. Since, all of a sudden, I had a much less evil, I guess you could say, a much less like evil bent to what my character was going through. I kind of moved into the mystical biome like I had talked about. Look at this water. It is so gorgeous. I love this color. I'm going to have to make water a central feature, or at least a major feature, in the base building stuff once I actually get around to making like a big permanent structure. Although, speaking of big permanent structures, that's some of the stuff that we're going to work on today. There's two things that we have available to us to work on. The first of which is going to be quick and easy, and the second of which is going to be more time-consuming, but also, you know, overall something better for us, probably. So, first things first, there's a village over that way, and apparently, in the villages in this mod pack, you can actually have a vampire versus hunter fight. There is a big, like a totem thing. Let me get some food down, and then I can continue my running. There is a big totem thing with that light that's shining up into the sky. You can see it there. So when I got here, that light was purple, which meant that this village was taken over by vampires. All the villagers were those vampiric villagers that you saw before. In fact, if you look back at my previous video, you will probably have seen that big purple shining beacon coming out of everything. So when I got here, I right-clicked it, and you can see down there it says you cannot attack a village owned by your faction. So I right-clicked it, and then like a little bar appeared that was like, ooh, I think it said capture in progress or something very similar to that. But yeah, so basically when I did that, I was saying I'm taking this village over for the hunters since I had aligned myself with the hunter faction. And so then a whole bunch of vampires spawned. It's kind of like a village raid, like what happens with the pillagers. And then I just had to kill all of the vampires that spawned in multiple waves until eventually we had it processed. So I'm thinking along the lines of like storytelling, a little bit of lore stuff, right? So we took this town over and we eradicated all the vampires. But then all of the villagers that were banished previously from here, they came back. And with them, they have brought back a little piece of faith that they had before with them. So this path, which you can see is worn, you know, it's not as well traveled as it used to be. It's more like an animal trail almost at this point, right? The villagers have started to bring to everybody's attention that there's actually something of a forest guardian deity. And so over here, you can see that this pathway leads to Grandfather Oak, who is right here. And there's this little pathway that the villagers have prepared so that they can ask questions and see if Grandfather Oak can answer them for them. So that's how the village is connected to this area. So when I found out about this, of course, I came over and started setting up shop. So you can see this is where I've been cutting stuff out, you know, kind of getting ready for everything. I've got sheep, cow, and chicken farms kind of set up. I've also got a villager spawner breeder that's like in a half cut down like gigantic tree. That, you know, this is one of the, you know, roots of that I've just kind of like taken over because I didn't want it to die completely. Designs by Il Mango, if I remember correctly. I really think that that's who did that, and I apologize if I'm wrong. This is my one villager that has mending. It took me a while to get one that had mending, but that's very important coming up, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. And then the designs here, these two are the same. They are by, I think, Rabid S'more. I try to go, whenever I'm looking for farm tutorials about how to do stuff the vanilla way, because I don't play vanilla very much, I usually go like 3 or 4 videos down because I want to give somebody else the chance to shine. So make sure you check out that video. And then this one, I believe, is by Avomance, which I think both of them also weirdly credited other people with like some inspiration or ideas. So feel free to just go right down the line and check that stuff out, because there's a lot of interesting content creators out there. I'm definitely not the only one. But okay, so why did I need this ender pearl? I hear you asking. Like, what was so important about this? That's a very good question. Ooh. I have slept. What are you doing? I have slept so recently, sir. You should not be here. But come down so that I can kill you, so that I can just sleep again. I don't want you dive bombing me while I'm sleeping. Okay. So let's hook in here. See, I literally think that I slept last night. I don't know why I'm getting a tick like that from them, but whatever. Okay, so getting back to it. Why? So what I needed was an ender chest. That is what I actually needed. And that's not how you build it in this pack. So let's see how you build it in this pack. No, that's right. Oh, no, it's an Eye of Ender. Right. What am I thinking? That's definitely an Eye of Ender that I need. Boop. 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 And then we do that thing. We do that thing that I did. There we go. And then I also need 8 normal chests. There we go. And that's got us a compressed chest. So, this is the plan that we're going to work on as one of our 2 options. If you know this pack, then you know what this crafting recipe represents. Gosh, I can't even talk right now. But yeah, so look at this back here, right? If you didn't know any better, if you didn't know me, basically, you'd be like, wow, that's a really interesting build that you've done there. It very much fits the terrain type. The dark oak use, the little farm, it looks really nice. I mean, obviously the mega torch and the feral flare lantern are going to be me doing it afterwards, right? But you're like, wow, that really blends in. So, I didn't build this, if you can't tell by the way that I'm gesticulating around the words there. This is actually part of the Prefab mod. There we go. This mod, Prefab. So there's a whole bunch of different things that you can get done. There's like houses, warehouses, chicken coops, farms, tree farms, greenhouses, watchtowers. I mean, there's all kinds of things that you can make with this. But kind of, I don't know, the one problem I have with it is that most of the recipes do not match like the different terrain types. It's very much like a stone, concrete, brick type thing, which is not necessarily something that we are going to be looking for while we're living inside of a magical forest. But what we can do is we can use these things to build us a pre-done structure, and then over time or with the right materials, we can actually turn those around and make them into something that is much more in line with the surroundings that we have here. So that's kind of basically what I'm going to do. I want to build this one, the warehouse, and then I also want to build the a different house, which is the recipe that I have right here. To get the moderate house, because the starting house, this is the recipe for the starting house. The recipe for the moderate house is 3 of those, spread out like that. Bam. So what we're going to do is we're going to put together these things using the prefab mod, and I'll show you how they work. And then, afterwards, we will kind of slowly transform them using some of the other stuff that's available in the mod pack to make them more in line with the terrain here. Make it a little bit more natural looking. Maybe spruce it up a bit. Anyways, so let me show you how they work, right? So first off, we've obviously got a big forest here. These things will absolutely destroy anything in their building path if you want them to. You can also clear out the terrain yourself. You can put them wherever you want to. But basically, if I go up, I want to find a nice clear space to start with so that way I can show you what they look like, right? So this moderate house, if I right click on this block, you can see that there's a couple of different options here, right? So there's add chest, build mine shaft. You can change the bed color. Of course, our bed is going to be the blue. And then there's also different house styles. So you can see this is a preview of what the spruce house looks like. The acacia house, which I actually really like, the kind of like almost ranch aesthetic this has, right? With the fence gate all the way around and then the raised gate here. The red stone block there represents where it's building from relevant to the block that you have clicked on. There's also this earthen home, which is kind of like an underground sort of dwelling. I would liken it to a hobbit hole, but it really doesn't feel like one to me. It's a lot more like you're living in a cave. There's a jungle house, which is like a big tree house that's situated on top of a gigantic jungle tree. And then there's a workshop house, which is the one that I want to use. It's nice and geometric, which is something that I value. It's also got a lot of the default Minecraft kind of machinery in it and about it. So I like it. So what we're going to do is we're going to preview it. And so you can see this is what it looks like in the world starting on this block, because I right-clicked on this block's top. And then if you, say, had the ability to, like, fly or something, you could actually, like, float around inside the projection and see where everything is going to be. But this also lets you kind of get a good handle on where the footprint is. Some of the blocks, or the recipes, these prefab, I guess blueprints is what you call them, will actually tell you how big the structure is, but this one obviously doesn't because there's like 4 or 5 different things that it can make. So you just kind of have to go around it and mark it out and be like, yeah, this is like really huge, and so you'll need a wide area to mess with this. But yeah, so what these do is by putting together all of the crafting recipes the way that you did, you're actually giving it the materials that it needs to build it. So like I had to put together like multiple compressed woods, lots of compressed stones, lots of compressed lighting, so that way it would have all of the resources that it needs. Now some stuff you do kind of get for free, like it has a bed. This one in particular also has like a little farm for cactus and sugar cane. And then also, I think it has some redstone in and about it for things, and an enchanting table. So that you do get a little bit more for free, but like the amount of grind that goes into getting the other resources, I mean, easily I can have any of that. Like I have an enchanting table just sitting in a chest right now because I haven't gotten everything together for it yet, right? But yeah, so then to get rid of the preview, you right-click anywhere, any block. It can't be air, but like any solid block, if you just right-click it, it'll get rid of the preview. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go a little bit this way, and we're going to kind of put this down and see just how massive it is, and hope that it doesn't interfere with anything else. Like, I don't want to come over here and see that it's intersecting with this house at all. Or the farm over here, which it's not. And it doesn't touch any of the villager stuff. But I do think I want to back it more towards me a little bit. And I'd kind of like to put it along some chunk boundaries. So let me get the chunk border up. And then, what if I do it like right here? Preview. Oh. Did I just perfectly get that on the... Oh, well, no, I guess the overhang on the side is definitely into the next chunk. So let me see, where was I when I did that? It had to be about right here, I think? So let's move to here. And preview again. And let's see if we can get this lined up with the chunk. That is the same one. That is uncanny how I can do that. It is right up against this farm, almost. Yeah, the posts actually are right up against it. So I'm doing good there. I mean, I'm going to tear this out once I get this going. I just really wanted to know where I was at on it. So let's move it one more over. And then that should have it entirely on the edge of this chunk boundary. And then I gotta deal with these purple slimes, which, for some reason, the Mega Torch does not block the spawning of. Ah, I see. We have some people showing up in chat. We got Star Cruiser and Big Soda. I hope you guys are having a fantastic night. I know I am. So yeah, so basically these front couple of trees we're going to want to eliminate ourselves, just because the it won't eliminate those, right? Because they're not exactly within its boundaries. So like this one, and that one, we're probably going to want to eliminate ourselves by hand, but everything else we could probably just let it do. That one, that one, that one. I think it will actually eliminate this one because it's within its build barrier. Probably that one too. You know what? F it. Let's try it, right? So yeah, just go. We're going to tell it to build. Ooh. It actually had some boundary issues here too. Put those away for a moment so I can get another chest. Huh, 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 huh. But yeah, so that's how it works, by the way. So yeah. Now we've just got this like weird amount of wood that we have to eliminate, and then it should decay the leaves for us. Same thing here. There we go. And obviously, like I said, this tree probably just has to go. Oh, my inventory is so full of junk. Let's go drop some of this off and also turn off the chunk barriers. I don't like staring at those either, right? Where is... Oh, that's it. Monster stuff. Put away all this junk that I got from killing things. String, phantom membrane, zombert flesh, corrupted slime balls, oh, and also this blood bottle. Okay, that gives us a little bit of space, right? So we can pick up some stuff. Yeah, so then we can just look around it, right? So this is our new... the new structure that we put together, which has just bisected the land and some of the trees and stuff, but whatever. I mean, like, honestly, once you try to mesh it up, it won't be a problem. Oh no. And of course, the very first thing that I would do is accidentally vein mine part of it out. Shaking my head. So we'll have to repair that eventually. Whatever. Yeah, that was actually a good bit of the materials, because it came around the side too and into the house. Cool. Well, let's go look at it. I can't even do... I gotta just immediately ruin it. Anyways, so this sponge is not supposed to be here? Why is there a sponge here? This is normally where the shaft that goes down into the mine spawns, I believe, in this model. But yeah, you can see it's got some greenery and stuff that spawns with it. There's lots of lighting. So then we can come inside. And then over here is some stuff I'll have to put back together. But like I said, it has like a sugarcane farm kind of pre-programmed. So like if I just tap that, it's going to push all that sugarcane off. Doesn't have a collection system, but that's something that we can put in ourselves, right? And then this is an enchanting area, which I believe, yeah, normally shoots up a whole bunch of bookcases, but I think some of the redstone got messed up over here when I was accidentally vein mining, so some of that's not popping up. But you can see also the interior is all light. You know, there's no darkness in here. There's no spawnable areas. And if we come over here, we can see our bed. And then also there's there in front of us like an array of chests with item frames already in place, so that you can you know, set up a storage area. There's also a stone cutter, a loom, a crafting table, and a cartography table, so that you can have those available to you to mess with. Anvil for all your enchanting stuff. And then in here, there's a farm area that starts with cactus, and then otherwise is blank farm area where you can put in whatever crop that you want. And then here there's some campfires so that you can smoke your meats and get them ready for eating. And then in the other side, I'm just going to leave that sugar cane. I have a lot of sugar cane, actually. You've got your, you know, your furnace area. So it's got blast furnace on this side, smokers here, and then normal furnaces over here, with barrels that you can put coal into to automatically be fed in, automatically feed from there into the furnace, and then it will automatically drop out into these bottom barrels as well. I don't know, fluffy puff seeds? So yeah, I mean, it even comes labeled, right? So yeah, that's this thing that I wanted to build, which is pretty amazing. I'll have to fix the back of it, but it is actually pretty stinking cool. But tearing it down is actually not that big of a problem, because like I said, part of the things that I was thinking about doing with it anyways was that I was going to pretty much immediately tear it down and restructure it to be along the lines of what's out here. Now with the dark oak frame, it's actually, it doesn't look that out of place. Now like in my other structures, I've used a lot more wood to make it feel like a more natural thing. But it's actually not really, other than being like this huge structure, really weird to be here. So if we spruce it up a little bit with, you know, maybe some different trims, some plants up top, maybe we could add some leaves in and around it, and maybe some vines and moss to replace some of the cobblestone and stuff to make it look like it was a little bit more worn. That'll make it look like it's very in place to be here, which is what we're going for essentially. We want to have a place where it looks like it's been here a while, and that people are coming back to it, because that's kind of the story that we're building for ourselves here. So yeah, we're going to work on that a little bit, but then also I wanted to show you some of the other stuff that I've been thinking about, right? So here, again, if you're very familiar with modded Minecraft, you're going to kind of already know what's going on here, right? But yeah, so let's get started. We're going to start in on Project E. We're going to have our Philosopher's Stone, and also then our transmutation table. Boom, just like that. Ha, Philosopher's Stone and transmutation table. Now, when we were first getting into this mod pack, we were looking at all the stuff that was available into it. We were kind of talking about how a lot of the mods that are in it are kind of like stay-at-home mods, where you wouldn't want to explore a whole lot, which is definitely one of the things that Project E can be, because this lets you just, like, you can store anything in it, and then you can always recall it back up, and then you can have all of the different things available to you. Now, what do I want to use this for? Because that's obviously going to be a pretty solid question, right? I don't want to use this as, like, I'm going to pour stuff into it and then, you know, pull diamonds out of the ether from putting in, like, 10,000 cobblestone or whatever. What I really want to use this for is, like, basic storage of forest stuff. Like, I'm going to put wood into this thing, and then I'm also going to put, like, you know, seeds, all this other, like, flowers and stuff that you pick up in the forest, And then I'm going to be able to draw that back out of it. So it's kind of going to actually be like a little mobile storage system for me, is what I'm thinking. Until we start getting the power structures in place where we can have a more in-depth storage system available to us. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is just going to go in there so that I can stop having like 10,000 different chests that I'm looking at to be able to pour stuff out of. Although it will enable me to get some of the more annoying things a little bit easier. Like, I'm totally going to put obsidian in there and just pull that out at my leisure to use in my projects, because that's an annoying thing to get to. But, like, I don't, especially with that furnace being available, I don't really want to put metals into it and start doing that to a great degree, because, like, that could get abusive pretty quickly, right? Because one of the things that you can put into any Project E system is I could just put in the ore. Like, I could go and silk touch out an iron ore, and then put it into the transmutation table, pull it out, and then immediately turn it into 3 ingots using that furnace that we found over there, right? So that's not what I'm into. Like, I don't really want to go that route. If I'm going to just, like, if I'm going to go the route of having infinite resources, it's going to be through mystical agriculture, because at least then I have to set up like a farming system and stuff like that. There's a little bit more setup that has to come into place for it to be a thing. What else? I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to show you that I have not talked about already. I did mess around with the tools a little bit, but I'm not done messing around with the tools. Like, I figured out a couple of things about it. Like this thing here, Token Enchanter. It lets you make these things. Blank tokens and turn them into actual things. I think in my backpack you might have saw one. Yeah, this is a Silk Touch one. So I'm trying to figure out the best materials to use to build it, and then I'm going for like some serious tools that I'm also going to enchant up. But I haven't got to it yet. So I can't really show that one off. But yeah, this building, right? So let's think about this a little bit. So the first thing, of course, is that all over the place in this forest there are vines, right? Vines are kind of like how Minecraft signifies, like, hey, this thing is old. That's like a classic Minecraft tactic, right? So vines are definitely something that we're going to have to add in here so that it knows that it is, in fact, an older structure. While I'm here, I really want to repair this thing that I broke. Strip spruce. Because the enchanting table I actually want to be fully functional pretty quick. Stripped spruce. There we go. And then I could just pull redstone out of this. So not a big deal there. Vines, yeah. Getting back to my basic lines of thought there is that I want vines to be on here so that we can have it look like it's a structure that's been here for a while. Some of the andesite, some of the cobblestone, I don't know if there is a mossy andesite, but if there is, I'm going to use it. There's definitely a mossy cobblestone. So that's 100% going to be a thing that we can just totally use here. Yeah, that's the pattern for that. So over here, it's using the actual spruce logs. Okay, let's dig down again. One more time. Go get those spruce logs. We can put all that stuff around here, though, and it's going to make it look fantastic. It's going to totally 100% blend in, he says. Obviously lying. It's not going to blend in 100%. That's just an unfortunate truth about it, is that it's not going to blend in 100%. But we can make it look like it should be here, regardless of whether or not it's actually blending in. And that is good enough for me. Okay, redstone. And then back off a little bit. Put another log down. Another redstone. Redstone there. And then dirt. And then take a guess, which one do we think was right here? I'm thinking it was the stripped one, because this is going along the outside. It's going to be visible along these lines, which is where those are. So stripped. And then final redstone dust. And that probably should have that working again. course, we can also jazz up the spruce logs, like the very normal Minecraft wood stuff that we have available, because we do have Botania set up, at least to the very basic levels of a pure daisy, so that we can get stuff like this, the living wood. There's the mossy living wood planks, and then also the mossy living rock that we've got here. And those two combined with like the normal mossy blocks that exist in Minecraft will enable us to make this look like it should be there. I am totally not worried about that. Let's go check our work on that enchanting table and see if we got it back up to running fully. Sure enough. Look at us go. That's a very basic bit of redstone, so I'm not surprised. But I think this is a full enchanting table, I think. Like, this is as upgraded as it can be without going into mods. So we can do level 30 enchants now, which is really nice. The fun thing about the silence tools that I figured out so far is that the enchanting tokens that you can put onto it are effectively like you're putting on an enchanted book. So if you do them at the end, you can still get a normal Minecraft enchant off an enchanting table, then put those on, and you've just added that to the tool. So we're going to make a killer pickaxe, and then put it in here and get it enchanted with, you know, whatever, and then add the silk touch to it. And we can do the same thing with all of the vanilla ones, I'm pretty sure. If we go back and look at silent, and then token... So you can see there's actually a token that's made for like every enchant, including the modded ones, but the modded ones don't have a recipe. But the normal ones do. That's nature's unbreaking. So yeah, unbreaking is sapphires, iron ingots. The crazy one is mending. Mending is nuts. Right, that's the recipe for it. Mystery goo, which I guess that comes from the end since it's talking about space. A nether star, and black diamonds, which I definitely have the least amount of black diamonds, so I have to assume it's one of the rarer materials that you can get. And that's because you can repair your tools already just by using the materials that you made it out of, so obviously they didn't want to make mending very easy to get to. Unfortunately, they don't do anything to limit villagers having that, so yeah, we just snuck around and got mending through a villager. And that's how we're going to do that mess. So yeah, dive down, my little crafting tables. Dive down, and then we will head out of this structure for the moment. So yeah, some of this, like building up these types of structures, is also going to lead to us doing some cleanup type stuff, because obviously I've set out like some block palette-y type stuff out here so I could see what different woods liked in the different formations. I've had like a really rough smeltery, a really rough farm, and then, of course, the animals being processed the way that they are being processed. So, slowly we're going to work around to breeding up some more of the villagers to be the way that we want. Like, if I could just get some of the non-vanilla enchants through these villagers as well, that would be great. I definitely wanted to get mending since it was one of the ones that seemed like it was forbidden to us. I wanted to get that through a normal villager, so obviously that's just what I did. And we can work around that, get those villagers the way that we want them to be. Should not be a big issue for us, guys. Because we got some good ideas and some great plans. I'm really bothered by the fact that like this thing isn't done the way that it's supposed to be, though. Because it's literally supposed to be like a tunnel down to like Y level 11, I think is what this mod, or mod pack prefab, that's what their mining level defaults to. Because I actually have that in the other, like the starter home that I got. And when I was testing it out in the creative world, that did add a tunnel like that. So yeah, it's just like this, right? It just goes all the way down. Yeah, all the way down. I mean, it goes all the way down. I don't really need to show you, right? But yeah, that's how that one was supposed to be over there. So I don't know why it didn't do that. Oh. And it also comes with like some really basic starter gear. The intent behind prefab is also that you should start with one of these. Like this, you should have the prefab schematic for a starter house in your starter inventory. They just didn't do it with this pack. Possibly because they I mean, there's lots of different reasons, right? They didn't think about it, they didn't want it, or it could be that it would be really difficult to set up since this one, this mod pack, y'all, is brand new. I mean, like, it was just getting released when I was taking a look at it, right? But yeah, so we've got ourselves lots of good options. And then after we get ourselves kind of situated with some good tools, then we can go off and do some of that adventure exploration stuff that's also in this pack. Like, we can explore that new dimension called the Midnight, and we can also go out and go do some roguelike dungeons and some other things like that. So there's a lot of different stuff that we can do in this pack. But guys, I think that's going to do it for me tonight. The stream's going to be a little bit short. I'm sorry about that. I had some technical difficulties at the beginning, and it's just kind of frustrated me a little bit. And so I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. But folks, thank you for tuning in. We're going to check out all this stuff next time. I'll have more information, and we're going to build up a block palette for this and get it run along. So thank you for watching along with me, guys, and I will see you on the next stream. And I hope you all have a fantastic night.